Good morning, Valley of the Sun. Thank you for joining me, Nathan Claiborn, your host of the Phoenix Real Estate Roundup, your weekday source for news, stats, and market intelligence from the Phoenix, Arizona real estate market. This morning is August 27th, 2020. Hope you're having a fantastic week. So far, we're almost to the weekend. Active listings on your Arizona Regional Multiple Listing Service this morning, 7,998. That is 56 more than there were yesterday, but still under that 8,000 number heading into the weekend. That's a little concerning. Interest rates dropped big, 15 basis points down to 2.94%, back underneath 3% for that number. And average price per square foot in the valley up 26 cents to $194.46. Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, came out this morning and put into a policy paper the stuff that he'd been hinting at all year. If you'll remember earlier this year, Jerome Powell said, we're not even thinking about raising interest rates. And they still aren't, and in fact, they have made it part of Fed policy. So for years, inflation has been the big focus, and they have kept inflation below 2% a year pretty much at all costs. Anytime it hinted at going over that, they would raise rates by 0.25% to cool things off, worried about inflation. And that's a leftover worry from what happened way back in the 70s, and this was a policy that was enacted by Paul Volcker, but carried through Alan Greenspan and Janet Yellen and Ben Bernanke. And Jerome Powell saying, well, wait a minute, inflation hasn't been that big of a problem for quite some time. And in fact, we've been in a low inflationary period for the last several years. So he's saying, instead of hewing directly to that 2% year over year inflation target, what if we just use that as an average so that we could let inflation rates go above that 2% number after a period of low inflation so that they would average out to 2%. Basically what he's saying is, I'm not going to raise interest rates just because unemployment drops and the economy gets stronger. We're going to let it get stronger. We're going to let it heat up a little bit during this recovery before putting any kind of brakes on it. Great news if you're an investor. Great news if you're a home buyer especially. Because what does that mean? That means that our low interest rate environment probably going to stick around for a little while longer, or maybe even a long while longer. This is a pretty big, important policy decision and announcement from the Fed this morning. I hope that's illuminated a little bit of the housing market for you. Thank you so much for joining me, Nathan Claiborn of the Montez Real Estate Group, bringing you the Phoenix Real Estate Roundup.